KANON TIPTON was just 21 months old when he first took to the pulpit at his family's Pentecostal church in Mississippi. Now, the 4-year-old internet sensation is set to be featured on a National Geographic special. We're going to talk to KANON in a moment. But first, his story. Out of the mouths of babes has new meaning in the digital age.
When KANON did what he did that night, preaching, my wife started videoing, and we put it on YouTube, called a few of our friends and say, hey, look what KANON did, and it just got over 4 million hits, and so absolutely shocked us, and it was amazing. It was all accident, but thankfully we did capture it on video.
It was very overwhelming. We put it on Apostolic Live, and they shut down the website. People trying to view it.
Who was on the platform behind you? You remember?
Papi.
And there was somebody else.
Daddy.
Daddy? What were we telling you? Preach, KANON. Preach.
I'm a preacher.
You're a preacher. He's been labeled the world's youngest preacher, and that intrigues me. Something that we never dreamed. It feels like a fantasy world that we're living in.
Every dad and mom.
KANON's family says he doesn't preach on cue, only when the Spirit inspires him. Now 4 years old, his evangelical enthusiasm also has a message.
Hallelujah. I'm preaching about I'm preaching about the one God. Like a man's church to the man's church of Pentecost, Pentecost is gonna do for the one Lord, the red, white, It's the Lord as the words. He was on Pentecost of Anita's, Mississippi. The Lord is here tonight. And his name is Jesus. There's only one God. And then he's going to praise out his tears and just worship God. And then he's going to worship God. But the Lord is going to do it. That means God has to do it. And then Jesus has to do it. And then God is going to do it. And then Jesus. Whoa! I love to preach tonight.
And 4-year-old KANON is with us now, along with his parents, Pastor Damon Tipton and Candy Tipton. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Well, we'll ask KANON a couple questions in a minute, but Damon, first I'll start with you. How do you explain this gift, this ability to stand in front of crowds and preach?
Well, one word comes to my mind, and I believe it's phenomenon. I really believe it's a phenomenon, and what KANON does. It's quite something.
Well, you, of course, are a preacher. You're the son of a preacher. He grew up in church. There will be some out there watching this who say, he's just 4 years old. He started at 21 months. Yeah. Is he mimicking? Do you think he's mimicking what he hears, or do you think this is a calling?
I think, yes, children absorb whatever you put in front of them, and all of his life thus far, he's been around the ministry, church, but I do feel like the hand of God is on him in a special way.
Candy, do you think he understands what he's saying, the words that are coming out of his mouth?
Yes, ma'am, to a degree I do. Yes, ma'am.
And since he started when he was 21 months, I imagine he's evolved and you're understanding more and more of the words he's saying.
Yeah.
Is that right?
He's learning. Yes, ma'am.
KANON, can I ask you a couple questions? Why do you like to preach? Just like your daddy, huh? Yeah. And are you ever nervous up there with all those people, or do you like to stand up there?
I like to stand up there.
Yeah. But how do you decide when you want to preach?
Because I just want to, see my daddy preach all the time.
You do. That's so sweet. So he's like father, like son.
Yes, and like grandfather. Yeah. So he is third-generation preacher. Mm-hmm. He certainly is. I'm very proud of him.
Before I let you go, I just have to ask you, there are going to be people out there who say at this young age, whether it's a gift or whether he's just mimicking you, maybe he's too young to be standing in front of crowds. I mean, how would you respond to that?
The Bible does say, train up a child the way they should go, and when they get old, they will not depart from it. All that we have done is involved in church, and he himself has taken upon this passion. And so, you know, we're not pushing him. He doesn't have an agenda. We don't travel with him.
And you don't mind if he's a preacher or not when he grows up?
Not at all. No, if the Lord's will in his life takes him to a different direction, I'm fine as long as he's in God's will.
All right. Candy and Damon and Kanon, thank you so much for coming on.